Hey, if you are an anxious and unsure girly woman, boss babe, whatever you call yourself, person, mother, wife, I just want to encourage you today that that anxiousness and that sense of uncertainty, it's okay, and that it has a place and you'll find your way. Um, and by saying you'll find your way, I look back at myself being this anxious, didn't know it at the time, wouldn't have said it. It just more of a I don't know, I'm not sure. And a lot of that showed up in a way of my own path, my own way, looking like I was swimming against the current, not doing the normative things. I think one of those things had to do with, in a way, trusting my own gut, however that lands, intuition, but also that inner knowing, that inner sense of strength. That part of me was also being asked to do something different, whether sometimes by me or others. But I just want to encourage. I sat down, and this is not what I was preparing to talk about, but I just felt that my own anxiousness and uncertainty when the shift came around this part to talk about anxious and uncertainty, I began feeling anxious and uncertain about where's this conversation going to head, where's it going to go to, and how would it come up and out of me. And I wanted to move away from it, but I'm leaning in. Um, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Once I came across that proverb in chapter 3, 5 through 6, years and years ago, I just knew. I just knew like this was the thing, this is what I needed. And more than even trusting my intuition or that inner knowing, it's that what I recognize and came to recognize, both, yes, my intuition, and also when I had a God encounter at 18, like that totally revolutionized my life and direction and pathway. And I think it paired well with that inner knowing and years of journeying through uncertainty, not sure how something was going to go. And I see myself in the midst of that, wading through where are the experts, who knows better, who can I rely on and glean from and gather from. And I know eventually it kind of came to this place where I began to distrust my own self because of the uncertainty of the not knowing. So I think this is what's stirring in me. It's like, if you truly don't know, yes, find mentor, find someone who's an expert at it, someone who's traveled that pathway before you, because we don't show up with all the skills, right? And so there are things that look like deficits, look like gaps, look like the not knowing, whether it's through a emotional place, physical place, spiritual place, relational, mental. And so we need oftentimes others who have traveled that and have, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimonies. We overcome by being encouraged with others who are traveling through and going this path and maybe a step or two ahead. And I want to say, as they're a step or two ahead and they share, it's that sharing. When I share, I want you to hear the process of what I have navigated, not like this way off, this is exactly what you need to do. It's more so this place of encouragement, of learning to lean in, learning to press your ears, learning to trust where you're at in the moments and places and seasons of where you're at, because that can be informative. Hearing from someone else, oh, they did like this, doesn't necessarily mean I have to insert their exact thing that they did. But what was the process for them to lead to that? Sometimes it's inserting, plug and play, right? But come back to that discerning and trying to navigate which is which. And even so, do something. And when you do it, that's information. That's information to say, oh, it worked well or it didn't work well. And, oh, something felt clunky and maybe I can stick with it for a little while and see if this is what I need to continue with. And so I think some of that might even go back to value. What do I value? Is it a community that I need to lean into? And, you're trying it out for a third year, but maybe the first and second year you're thinking, oh, I didn't quite gather what I needed to gather there. And so you continue in that path. And so the sense of uncertainty, not sure, feeling anxious, just want to encourage you. Trust. Trust builds by doing. You apply yourself, you gather from those who are around you, or for me at times that looked like also finding someone who didn't go maybe against my values, but had information where maybe immediately I couldn't access it, and or didn't have a group to lean on, and so find it through books or podcasts or whatever you have to do, but know that you're not alone, and it doesn't have to be a place of shame and withdrawing and just feeling stuck. That's maybe that part that activated my desire to encourage you that if you are in fact more that anxious, uncertain, doesn't have to build shame. Don't have to get stuck in a shame cycle around that. It's information. It's information to say, this is what I might tend to do. This is how things may tend to circulate and come up for me. However, how can I resource myself knowing that this portion, this thing comes up like that? Do I need to pause and pray? Do I need to list out the things that are in front of me that I need to get done? Do I need to reach out to someone? Being considerate of yourself in this and bringing kindness and compassion and care to the self versus being critical, being so judging or harsh towards the self, like, oh, you shouldn't be. The fact is your body activates and it's saying, giving you some kind of information. Something feels safe or not safe. Something feels secure or not secure. And how do I acquire what it is that I might need to navigate what is in front of me? I hope this is an encouragement to someone. I always find it interesting when persons may say, "Oh, you're so confident," you seem to be so bold. You step out and you do things. Like, yes, I do, and I get to do that, and it's not without. Oftentimes, there are times where it's just that, and then more high percentage than not, it's not because I haven't felt a version of anxiousness or a version of questioning. Can I do this? Is this for me? Or even a desire to pass it on to someone else who I may think is more expert in the thing that they're doing. So if you find yourself and you're recognizing that you may have some of these similar patterns, man, I just want to encourage you. And, you know, like it is okay. You will find what is for you. You will find your pathway. And I just wanted to, like I said, encourage you again. Hey. um, and so, anyway, my babies are needing me, so I'm going to go check in.